The President's Diary is brought to you by the Media and Communications Unit of the Office of the President. Get your reviews and updates on the President's engagements, policy and priority programs. Subscribe to the State House newsletter, like and follow the State House of the Gambia on Facebook at Presidency Gambia, and follow the Twitter handle at presidency_GMB. If you are a fan of YouTube, subscribe to the State House of the Gambia YouTube channel and get your updates at your convenience. Get more on the OP website www.op.gov.gm. Get informed, get enlightened, get factual information. The Media and Communications Unit, Office of the President, is your credible source on the presidency.
Hello viewers and welcome to this episode of the President's Diary. This is a program that highlights the President's activities in pursuit of national development goals. I am Zainab Fall and thank you for joining us. President Adama Barrow on February 4th laid the foundation for the construction of a 23 megawatt solar plant and an 8 megawatt battery storage system in Jambur, West Coast region. The President described the project as a historic day in the Gambia, as it will transform the country's energy landscape after its successful completion.
The proposed Jambul solar plant is a component of the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, which is co-financed by the World Bank and the European Investment Bank at an estimated budget of $27 million. The project scope includes the construction of a 23 megawatt solar plant and an 8 megawatt battery energy storage system with 3 years of operations and maintenance. The ultimate goal of this project is to provide additional reliable, affordable, sustainable, and green energy generation capacity to meet the increasing energy needs of the Gambian people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this solar project is an integral part of a national strategic roadmap 2021-2024, aimed at attaining universal energy access by 2025 and transforming the Gambia electricity subsector as approved by Cabinet in November 2021. The roadmap outlines my government's aspiration to achieve universal access to electricity by 2025, and at the same time transform the electricity sector so that Gambians can benefit from reliable and affordable electricity, leading to NAWEC becoming an efficient, financially sustainable power utility. The strategic roadmap serves as a development blueprint for the electricity subsector in the short and medium term. Renewable energy is highly placed on its order of priority. In the roadmap, solar PV is considered as the cheapest form of renewable energy in the Gambia. This project will inject clean energy into the electricity grid, thus contributing to the achievement of the Gambia's climate change targets of nationally determined contributions. It will also help us to diversify our electricity generation sources, reducing the country's overdependence on imported petroleum products.
Also in February, President Adama Barrow presided over the signing of performance contracts between the executive and three state-owned enterprises, namely the Gambia Ports Authority, Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, and the Gambia National Petroleum Company. President Barrow said the SOEs are three extremely important and their operations have a telling impact on the lives of Gambian citizens and the government's economic performance.
It is no secret that state-owned enterprises play a vital role in our national development endeavors. It is expected that in providing essential social services for the public, they do so in a financially and operationally robust manner to ease the pressure on central government resources and contribute positively to economic growth. Our experience is that despite the enormous investments made by government in SOEs, many of these entities continue to post losses. This has made it necessary to devise a renewed strategy to change the narrative and strengthen their operations and performance. Ladies and gentlemen, my government is committed to solving the trouble of ineffective SOE oversight, which has contributed to the current low performance levels of some public enterprises. To this end, we have taken important steps to remedy the legacy issues constraining public enterprise operations. Key among them was to conduct a special purpose audit on all 13 SOEs in the country. Apart from the audit, it's thought appropriate to introduce an SOE bill, which will be tabled before the National Assembly soon. Once passed, the SOE bill will lead to the establishment of a commission with oversight functions on all SOEs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached a critical stage in the development process of this country, wherein all public institutions have to deliver on their mandates in the most efficient, effective, and transparent manner. That is the only way we can realize our collective goals as a nation. Moving forward, the government will continue to work with all public enterprises and ensure that they do not only deliver public services in a reliable and efficient manner, but also contribute to government fiscal operations by disbursing dividends payable to their shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, the signing of these performance management contracts between my office and the respective heads of SOEs and board chairpersons is an other relevant and critically significant government initiative. The contracts are designed to challenge SOEs and spell out the roles they are expected to play to achieve the objectives and targets set for them. Also, they are to ascertain that SOE performance and results are closely and rightly monitored and measured. In addition, the contracts are to guarantee the establishment of a strategic framework for accountability and effective communication between the enterprises and their shareholders.
As is customary every year, President Barrow earlier in February presided over the opening of the 2023 legal year in a ceremony held at the High Court complex in Banjul. The legal fraternity, executive, legislature, and the diplomatic corps attended the event. In his official statement, President Barrow said the centrality of justice in democracy makes the event important, particularly for the Gambians.
The centrality of justice in a democracy makes the annual celebration of the legal year particularly significant for the Gambia. The occasion gives us the opportunity to review our performance within the legal sector and look ahead to plan better and work harder to address our shortcomings and reinforce our strengths. For this purpose, I will briefly make specific references to exemplify our commitment to justice and the law. Over the years, my government took gains, strives to uphold good governance, democracy, and the rule of law, especially with regard to separation of powers between the three organs of government. In doing so, we have accomplished a lot towards the establishment of justice and the provision of legal services through the Ministry of Justice. Especially, my government considers the white paper on the findings of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, TRRC, as a major part of our national transitional justice process, and we hold ourselves duty-bound to implementing it in a transparent manner. To achieve this, we are working with relevant stakeholders and partners to establish a prosecution system to impartially try the perpetrators of human rights abuses and violations mentioned in the report. The white paper also contains the government's express decision to set up a special prosecution office mandated to investigate and prosecute accused persons within its terms of reference. It is worth observing that the prosecution of crimes such as torture, enforced disappearances, and crimes against humanity are not specifically provided for under Gambian law. To deliver justice, therefore, we propose to develop a special judicial framework and create a hybrid court to try perpetrators whose offenses amount to international crimes. We will pursue this in agreement with our obligation under customary international law. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my government's decision to establish an independent National Human Rights Commission to effectively advise human rights in Gambia has already gained international approval. The Commission has attained an A status accreditation with the Global Alliance for National Human Rights Institutions, which is indeed a historical milestone in our transitional justice process. At home, in observance of best international human rights standards, the government has stepped up engagements to respect, protect, and promote the fundamental human rights of people, with specific focus on women, children, and marginalized groups. Through the Ministry of Justice, cases of sexual and gender-based violence are diligently prosecuted to discharge justice for the victims. Likewise, to reduce crime and violence, thorough investigations and proper procedures proceed the prosecution of all suspects brought before the law.
President Barrow concluded by encouraging the legal sector to live by the ethics of the profession and also to deliver in accordance with the constitution and other laws of the land. On the 18th of February, the Gambia celebrated 58 years of nationhood since gaining independence. And this year, the celebration held at the Makati Square was on the theme Democracy, a Recipe for Peace and Development. A spectacular parade by the security forces and a march past by school children marked the event. President Barrow addressed the nation, reminding Gambians of the importance of nationhood. Here is an excerpt.
Annually, we observe our National Day on the 18th February to renew our ties and commitments as a nation. It is an occasion that creates opportunities for solidarity, reflection, and redelegation to our motherland. As we celebrate Gambia's 50th independence anniversary today, let us therefore focus on our common futures as Gambian citizens instead of our differences. We are compelled to coexist as Gambians and should accept the wisdom and necessity of living together in peace and harmony to develop our homeland despite our diverse opinions and interests. Fortunately, our differences can be harmonized by democracy. As a political system and a social process, in our family systems, communities, institutions, organizations, and the nation at large. For this reason, the theme for my address this year is democracy, a recipe for peace and development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, democracy allows us to consult, dialogue, negotiate, compromise, and accommodate dissent. It is a system that rejects injustice, inequality, suppression, dictatorship, and autocracy. In addition, it promotes rights, freedoms, procedures, and regulations. In the Gambia, as Democrats, we maintain the supremacy of the Constitution and the rule of law, with due regard accorded to our diversity. Convinced that democracy is a framework to attain peace, development, and stability, my government is duly committed to good governance and trained in the principles of democracy.
Viewers, before we wrap up this episode of the President's Diary, let's take a look at the swearing in of our commissioners tasked with inquiring about the conduct of local councils following complaints and non-adherence to legal rulings in administrative matters. According to the President, the decision to set up the commission aligns with his government's determination to strengthen our institution through good governance.
Government bears a statutory oversight obligation over councils. The setting up of this Commission of Inquiry is the result of complaints sent from 4 councils about alleged financial and administrative irregularities. Guided by Section 200 of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, I deem it necessary to establish a commission of inquiry to investigate the alleged irregularities. In discharging our responsibilities as a government, we are committed to the principles of accountability and transparency. Thus, we have to take proper steps to strengthen professionalism in all public institutions, including local councils. As a commission of inquiry, your tasks include conducting a holistic and fair review of the financial and administrative operations of councils, with the objective of improving their governance and service delivery components based on standard procedures. Ladies and gentlemen, establishing this commission of inquiry is apt, considering the nature of the irregularities brought to the government's attention. To provide evidence in support of this line of action, the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs received complaints from 4 local councils about alleged financial and administrative irregularities. Almost 2 months into the 2023 fiscal year, for example, the Banjul City Council is yet to submit its annual budget for scrutiny by the ministry, as provided for by the Local Government Finance and Audit Act 2004. Also at the Kanifing Municipal Council, there have not been a chief executive officer and director of finance for nearly 2 years. Furthermore, oversight measures, including a court ruling and directives from the Local Government Service Commission to institute suitable redress procedures, are still being hindered. These circumstances, among other factors, have seriously undermined the administration and social service delivery obligations of the said councils. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gambia government has a huge responsibility to restore and maintain normality at all levels of the establishment. It bears a statutory oversight obligation over council and has been duly advised to adopt appropriate measures to address the irregularities complained against them.
The Commission has 3 months to investigate and present its report to guide government in adopting relevant policy and administrative options. Viewers, this is all we have for you in this edition of the President's Diary. On behalf of the MCU team, we thank you for the pleasure of your company, and we hope to see you soon on another episode of the President's Diary. Thank you, and I have been your presenter, Zainab Fall.
The President's Diary is brought to you by the Media and Communications Unit of the Office of the President. Get your reviews and updates on the President's engagements, policy and priority programs. Subscribe to the State House newsletter, like and follow the State House of the Gambia on Facebook at Presidency Gambia, and follow the Twitter handle at Presidency_GMB. If you are a fan of YouTube, subscribe to the State House of the Gambia YouTube channel and get your updates at your convenience. Get more on the OP website www.op.gov.gm. Get informed, get enlightened, get factual information. The Media and Communications Unit, Office of the President, is your credible source on the presidency.